Hey guys, Jared Gatastic back here again with another video of the future of the NBA. Picked up last time, Damian Lillard won MVP for the finals, leading the Portland Trail Blazers over the New York Knicks. If you haven't seen that one, go back and check that one out first. I'll put the link in the description. Let's get into here what happened after that. After that season, you see players that retired, such as Dirk Nowitzki. You see Joe Johnson, Zach Randolph, Tony Parker, Tyson Chandler, Al Jefferson, just to name a few, Zaza Pachulia. So you can see there's a bunch of guys who called it quits after this season. A lot of big names. There's a changing motion going into the NBA, going into the 2019-2020 season, where a lot of these great players called it quits. But however, of all of these, Dirk Nowitzki is the only one who is inducted into the Hall of Fame. But both his numbers retired with the Dallas Mavericks, and the San Antonio Spurs will retire number 9 for Tony Parker. League realignment. The Atlanta Hawks have moved to Tampa Bay and become the Tampa Bay Nighthawks, but they have still stayed in the Southeast Division. Nothing has changed. The NBA Draft Lottery was held, where the Golden State Warriors held the first pick, followed by the San Antonio Spurs and the Orlando Magic. You can see the rest of the order there. And after the draft was held, LiAngelo Ball was taken by the Golden State Warriors with the number 1 selection. The Spurs selected Shane Wheeler. The Louisville Heat selected something Wall. I went too fast. You can see here's the top 8. I'll show you. Shaq's son was drafted by the Mavericks with the 8th selection. The Sixers took Art Young with the 8th selection. Did I say 8th before? I meant 7th. Free agency stuff. Chris Bosh signed with the Memphis Grizzlies. Rodney Hood signed with the new Tampa Bay Nighthawks. You can see their jerseys there. The Louisville Heat signed Kemba Walker. And this season was held, and at the end, MVP was given to LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Rookie of the Year was Shane Wheeler from the San Antonio Spurs, who was the number 2 overall draft pick. Greg Monroe from the San Diego Admirals earned 6th Man of the Year. Draymond Green from the Golden State Warriors was Defensive Player of the Year. And Kay Felder was the Most Improved Player from the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Coach of the Year goes to James Wallace, who is the coach of the San Diego Admirals. Now let's get into the finals. The first round, the San Diego Admirals are in the 1st seed in the West. They'll take on the defending champs, the Portland Trail Blazers, who earn the 8th seed. The LA Clippers and the Sacramento Kings play each other, the 4 and 5 seeds. The Utah Jazz are in the 3 seed, and they'll be taking on the San Antonio Spurs, who earn the 6th seed. The Golden State Warriors earn the 2 seed the year after drawing the number 1 pick, and will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who earn the 7th seed. On the eastern side of things, the Boston Celtics are in the 1 seed and take on the 8-seeded Milwaukee Bucks. The 4-seeded defending Eastern Conference champion New York Knicks take on the 5-seeded Indiana Pacers. The 3-seeded Chicago Bulls take on the 6-seeded Toronto Raptors, and the 2-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers take on the 7-seeded Louisville Heat in the first round. Now let's go ahead and simulate these and see what happened here in the 2020 finals. The San Diego Admirals defeated the Portland Trail Blazers. The Los Angeles Clippers defeated the Sacramento Kings in 7 games. The Utah Jazz defeated the San Antonio Spurs, and the Golden State Warriors defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves. No upsets there. The Boston Celtics defeated the Milwaukee Bucks, and the New York Knicks swept the Indiana Pacers to move on. The Chicago Bulls defeated the Toronto Raptors in 7 games, and the Louisville Heat upset the 2-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games, the only upset so far in the playoffs. Now to the conference championships. The San Diego Admirals defeated the Los Angeles Clippers in 7 games and take on the Golden State Warriors, who defeated the Utah Jazz. The New York Knicks upset the 1-seeded Boston Celtics, and the Louisville Heat pulled off another upset, upsetting the Chicago Bulls to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. However, the finals, though, is the San Diego Admirals, who defeated the Golden State Warriors, the 1 seed, and the 7 seed from the East, Louisville Heat, upset once again by defeating the New York Knicks. Now, the finals results are in, and in a 4-game sweep, the San Diego Admirals win the NBA championship in the year 2020 with their MVP, Joel Embiid. And in this offseason, we lost guys like Nene, Dwayne Wade, J.J. Barea, Andrew Bogut retired there. Not too many big names you see retire after this season, but you can see some of them there. Now in off-season moves, Dwayne Wade was inducted into the Hall of Fame after retiring. And his number is the only number retired. His number, however, was retired with the Louisville Heat, not the Chicago Bulls that he went to play for towards the end. So no more number 3 for the Heat. And as you can see, the realignment for the league, the Sacramento Kings have moved back into the Pacific Conference, or the Pacific Division, moving the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Southwest to the Northwest again, moving the Memphis Grizzlies back to the Western Conference in the Southwest Division because the Los Angeles Lakers have relocated to Atlanta and are now the Atlanta Lakers, and they are now playing in the Southeast Division. The draft lottery was held following that, giving the Detroit Pistons the first pick, followed by the Tampa Bay Nighthawks and the Dallas Mavericks. And after the draft was held, the Detroit Pistons selected Nick Johnson with the number 1 overall pick. The Tampa Bay Nighthawks selected Nick Wagner. The Dallas Mavericks selected LaMelo Ball, and he looks bad there, but that's the draft I used. Sorry, ignore it. The Oklahoma City Thunder selected Art Sampson with the 4th overall pick. The Charlotte Hornets held the 5th overall pick and selected J.C. Olsen. And Jillian Olsen was selected by the Orlando Magic with the 6th pick. Brett Zinnel was selected by the Philadelphia 76ers with the 6th pick, and the Wizards selected Willie Andrew with the 8th overall pick. Free agencies after that, C.J. McCollum has now gone to the Louisville Heat. Carmelo Anthony now has gone to San Diego. Kyle Lowry is now an Indiana Pacer. And those are the big off-season moves here. But at the end of the season, MVP went to Russell Westbrook of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Rookie of the Year this year was Nick Johnson from the Detroit Pistons, who, if you remember, was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. The Sixth Man of the Year is De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings. Defensive Player of the Year went to Nick Johnson of the Detroit Pistons, who was also Rookie of the Year. Kevin Knox earned 6th Most Improved Player from the San Antonio Spurs, and the Coach of the Year was Aiden Anderson of the New York Knicks. And now there's an attempt for expansion this year. Seattle getting their Supersonics back, and Cincinnati adding their team, which would be named the Lions. We'll have to wait and see if these expansions go through. But this is the first attempt at an expansion in my simulation. As you can see here, we've gotten into the playoffs now. The Utah Jazz are in the 1 seed in the West, and they take on the 8-seeded San Antonio Spurs. The 4 seed was the Portland Trailblazers. They take on the 5-seeded Golden State Warriors. 3-seed Oklahoma City takes on Minnesota in the 6th seed. The New Orleans Pelicans are in the 2 seed, take on the 7-seeded San Diego Admirals. New York Knicks are in the 1 seed, and they take on the Milwaukee Bucks at the 8th seed. 4-seeded Washington Wizards take on the 5-seeded Orlando Magic. The Chicago Bulls are in the 3 seed and take on the 6-seeded Louisville Heat. And the 2-seeded Boston Celtics take on the 7-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers. Now let's move on and see who moves on to the next round, as the Portland Trailblazers have defeated the Golden State Warriors. The San Antonio Spurs upset the 1-seeded Utah Jazz in 7 games. New Orleans Pelicans defeat the San Diego Admirals, and the Oklahoma City Thunder defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves. The New York Knicks defeat the Bucks, and the Orlando Magic upset the Washington Wizards to move on. The Chicago Bulls defeat the Louisville Heat, and the Cleveland Cavaliers upset the 2-seeded Boston Celtics to move on to the next round of the playoffs. Now let's go ahead and simulate these to see which teams make it to the Western Conference Finals and which teams make it to the Eastern Conference Finals en route to making it to the overall NBA Finals. In the Western Conference Finals will be the New Orleans Pelicans, who defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7, and the Portland Trailblazers, who defeated the San Antonio Spurs. On the eastern side, the New York Knicks defeated the Orlando Magic, and the Chicago Bulls defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games to move on. Now the NBA Finals is the New Orleans Pelicans, who defeated Portland, and the New York Knicks, who defeated the Chicago Bulls, the 1 seed from the East and the 2 seed from the West. Let's see what happened in their finals. And in 7 games, the New Orleans Pelicans win the NBA championship this year on the back of their MVP, DeMarcus Cousins. And that is it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you want to see more of this, please feel free to like and subscribe. And this is Jerry Gotastic, and I'm out. Talk to you guys later.